watching the Haunt channel, and today what I'm making a video on is a very special item, and that is the Spirit Halloween Jack the Reaper mask. So now, there's quite a bit to talk about this thing, but first of all, I'll start on how I got this thing. So a few months ago now, I had uploaded a video called a Mystery Halloween Unboxing, which I got a package from Mercari, and I got a few things from the seller for like customs and stuff I was making. Um, let me just explain this first. I did explain it in that video, but if you guys haven't seen it, I'll just explain what happened. So I actually went on Mercari. This is around September, and I was actually looking for a costume for a custom prop I was making for my haunt. So I found one really good on Mercari, so I got it. Um, but before I actually bought it, I had, you know how it always says, oh, there's more from the seller. Well, I had looked there, and the person was actually selling old Spirit Halloween costumes. So, I decided to give it a look to see what else they were selling. And I found this. Now, I was actually shocked because these things pop up for sale, and when they do, they usually sell fast. This thing was up for like 3 weeks, and I was kind of surprised no one got it. And it was only around like 40 bucks, I want to say, which is an amazing deal. But the thing was, I think it was just called like foam skeleton mask. So if it was Jack the Reaper, I'm sure this thing would have been sold immediately. But since it was just like some obscure name like foam skeleton mask, I'm assuming that's why it didn't sell. So yeah, I ended up making a deal, and I think we made a package deal for 60 bucks. I think this thing was either 40 bucks or 60 bucks, but we made a bundle deal, so I got the whole package for 60 bucks. But either way, it's a really good deal. And I'm glad I finally got one because this was like a grail item for me. And I know among many other haunters, especially, people who, buy from Spirit and stuff, they're really after this mask. And this is in such good condition, and for the price, I'm so happy I finally got one. And I am a mask collector, but honestly, even if I wasn't a mask collector and I'm still into spirit stuff, I'd probably still buy this mask. But anyways, yeah, this thing, it does have some history. So that's how I got it. And now let me explain some history about this thing, because there is quite a bit about this thing. So this mask, I believe, was first created in 2007 by the famous Don Post Studios, which everyone has to have known who Don Post is. They were like the biggest mask company. And I think they probably still are, even though they did go out of business in 2012, but they were started in what, like, I forget when Don Post started, but it was probably like what, at least 50s, 60s. Don't quote me on that, but they were around for a long time. They inspired a lot of companies. Like, if we didn't get Don Post, we wouldn't have good companies like Distortions. So yeah, Don Post was a big inspiration for a lot of companies, and they were starting to make these latex masks, which back in the day, they were, they were really crazy for coming out for all this cool stuff and unique and innovative at the time. Because back then, most, if you got a Halloween mask, it's probably like a plastic half mask with like a strap or whatever, that was it. But no, they're making like full-on latex masks back then. So yeah, that's basically Don Post if you don't know who they are, which everyone probably does know who they are. And yeah, a lot of their masks are very valuable, and some of them don't even exist anymore. Like, there's probably like I know some masks, there's probably like one original copy of their mask. Others have just completely wiped out on Earth because they disintegrated or whatnot for whatever reason due to how old they are. But yeah, a lot of their masks that do exist from, like, especially back then, go for a crazy amount of money. But yeah, little rundown about Don Post there, even though you guys probably know what it is. But obviously, this is a Spirit Halloween exclusive mask, because why would a random company sell a Jack the Reaper mask? So yeah, so Spirit definitely commissioned them, saying, "Hey, it would be cool if you guys made a mask," and then they did it. Now back then, Jack the Reaper was not as big as he is now. He's always been Spirit's mascot, but now you got him all over the themes. You got him all sorts of different merch, t-shirts, you can see like right there, like cups, even like figures, there's even a pen. There's a ton of Jack the Reaper stuff, even a new costume. So basically, this was just a mask, and it wasn't even called Jack the Reaper back then. I don't know when Jack the Reaper got his name, but I'm pretty sure since Spirit was founded, he's always been the mascot. Once again, like I said, I don't know when he got his name, but you know, he's always been the mascot for as long as we know, since Spirit started. But over the times, Jack has had many different looks. So this is more based off of the original look. Um, I will put up a picture so you guys can see what he looks like. So that's what he looked like back then. And this mask was obviously, since this came out in 2007, Jack looked different. This represents more of the old Jack the Reaper look, but you can still tell it's him because the grin, he's the skeleton, and he's, of course, that signature one eye. So, yeah. And like I said, once again, I don't know when he got his name, but back then, when this mask came out, it was actually called Foam Big Eye Skull. So it was not called Jack the Reaper. It was not anything with Spirit, but you can tell who the character is. And someone did post a photo video on old Spirit catalogs that I think they got off eBay for like their mask and like their products and stuff. Which he's in there, and that's how he found out. So I think 2007 is his oldest year. I will put a photo up from that catalog that I found right now, so you guys can check that out as well. So yeah, that was the catalog pick, and I think he was made from both 2007 and 2008. I think he was only made for those 2 years, and then after that, if he was in store, he'd probably be a leftover. And another cool thing about this, so some spirits would actually make their own custom themes alongside the themes they're supposed to have. So I actually stumbled across the old spirit video from 2008, and I can put it in the description, but I also put up a photo of this. So there's a old video from 2008 of Spirit, and near the end they show so they're at the castle showing all the props in the back, but they ended up at the very end they turned the camera and you can see it for like a few seconds. There's a custom display called the Old Head Shop, and it's just like a tiny little shack, and they had like separate heads, but they actually had a dummy, kind of like this one actually, with the Jack the Reaper mask on it. So that's pretty interesting, and I'll put a photo up of that now. Now, he was just sold as a mask, but as I had mentioned about the Spirit Jack the Reaper merch we have now, there is a new costume. So you got the vinyl hands. I don't have this one, by the way, but it just came out this past Halloween season for kids and adult. But I got vinyl skeleton hands, a black robe, and a plastic half mask, which it resembles the Jack the Reaper we know today. This is obviously better than a cheap. Well, I don't know if it's like cheap necessarily, but a plastic half mask like this thing is much better, I'd say though. But yeah, the new Jack the Reaper costume does resemble the new look of Jack more. And this thing, when it came out, was just a mask. And this is like the only like Jack the Reaper merch that we got back then, like I mentioned. And usually I actually had this right here. This is just like a mannequin stand I had with a wire, and I just decided to do something cool with it, so I made my own Jack the Reaper type prop with it. He's got the spirit shirt, he's got my flagship lanyards on it. I used a ghost face robe on him, and I had these skeleton hands, and I put this mask on top of it, but obviously I have it out so I can make this review on it. Yeah, there's a lot to be said. So we were talking about like Jack's look different over the years. And let me just pull this in anyways so you guys can see it. Obviously, this is the Jack the Reaper we know today. So he's not only do they have merch of him, but they've incorporated him in so many themes. Even if it just started with signs, they had cardboard cutouts of him that they ended up installing. This one was from the Reaper's Island theme where he would hold the expedition sign. This is just the body of it, though. He has another hand that comes separate that you would put on the sign. But, yeah, this is what he looks like. Obviously, everyone knows how he looks like today, so you can definitely tell a big difference on what he looks like today and what he looks like back then. He's got the signature red eye now. back then it was just like white or whatever. But yeah. Anyways, so like I said, this thing was called Foam Big Eye Skull. So I don't, not all, some of these might have been exclusives, but I don't think all of them were. This one definitely wasn't exclusive to Spirit, but back around the 2007, Spirit had a lineup from Dawn Post called the Foam Face line. And there were a couple, different masks. There were some funny ones, some scary ghoul ones, but there's two that are most notable in the series of the Foam Faces. It's this one, and then I have it, but I don't have it out right now. It's Mr. Steroid. He's the clown that looks like Wacky Mole. I probably just put a pic of him as well. So yeah, I have that one as well, and those are the most two noticeable ones from that line. Uh, and Mr. Steroid, I think they sold the longest when they had him, but yeah, so that was a whole line of these foam face masks, and it is. So let me go over the materials of this thing. It is like a latex coating, but it's not rotted at all. So this is in perfect shape. It is a foam filled mask, however, so you can still wear it. But let me see if I can kind of show you. You can see like example right there. It's all filled in with foam, and then you can just wear it from the back here. So it's not like it's completely filled in with foam where you can't wear it. It just fills in the latex part. So it kind of is a half. You can see how it ends right there. It is sort of like a half mask, but it's kind of full because it has the attached hood. The hood is a nice velvet, so that's pretty cool. And then the inside is lined with just regular fabric, so it can really hide your face in it. Yeah, like I said, the rest of this is latex. The teeth is a plastic, and the eye is kind of like a glass eye, but also like plastic. It looks kind of realistic, though. You can see that. I like the detail they put on it. Like, it has like the mix of sharp teeth. It really like, even if it doesn't look like Jack the Ripper today, like I said, obviously this was made back then, so it resembles the old look. Either way, compared to back then and today, as I mentioned, you can still tell this is Jack the Ripper by his signature grin, the ghoul face, and the one eye. So yeah, I know I think Mr. Strobe's the only one in this series that you can move the jaw. This one looks like you can move the jaw, and you can, like if you do that, but it's not really unhinged, so you can't really move it with your mouth when you wear it. It would have been cool if it did that, but it's still fine as is. He has a lot of nice detail. He has obviously like the shadowing mixed with some blue outline. You can kind of see that there, and it's just really cool. Yeah, he's even got a tag in here. I don't think it says Spirit on it. It has the Spirit item number, but it has the regular Dawn Post little white hang tag, I guess you could say. So there's the Spirit item number tag. And then you can see it says Dawn. If I can get it to show good, it says Dawn Post Paper Magic Group right there. You can see that. So this mask, it says 2001 on it, but a lot of Dawn Post items have 2001. I think they just reuse the same tag. So like this one came out 2007, but a lot of like Dawn Post items just have a 2001 tag for some reason. I don't know, they just reused it. But yeah, there's a lot to be said about this thing. I think one more thing is that the hood in the back is actually stuffing filled. So to give it more of a puffy form, you can see it's kind of ripped right there, but you can see it has just some green stuffing in there just to puff it out a lot. So yeah. And then the breathing room, you can see it has a, if you can kind of see this, let me see this again. You can't really tell, but there's a net inside the mouth, and then both eyes you can see through, so you can see through this one, and then there's a little eye hole right there. There's no nose holes, but there's, when you wear it, there's still room to breathe, so you obviously don't suffocate in it. So yeah, and then you can see the rest of the hood kind of, you can cover your neck with this, and then you can always just add a black robe to it if you want go full out with this thing. Like I said, you just get an ordinary Ghostface robe, but it would work, and just skeleton hands. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, there's a lot to say about this thing. I think I covered everything that I needed to cover about this mask. And I think that, oh, actually, I will say this. Well, first of all, I think this is the only review that will be on YouTube. So I think I'm making the first video, actual, like, in-depth review of this thing that there is on YouTube. People own it, but I don't think there's any videos. I tried looking it up. There's a few videos of the new Jack the Ripper mask and costume, none of the original one right here. So I think I'm making the first one. But Spirit, as far as I know, I think they have their own copy still. Because if you remember, during the SS Riptide video that Spirit made, when it showed, like, you know how they always do like those teasers of props, when it did like the, you know, walk around where, you know, they each film each prop, and they used to have it on the TVs. Actually, when Spirit had the TVs, they had the animatronic demos going off on their TVs that they used to have. There's one scene where there's the boat driver, and he's wearing this exact mask. So I think Spirit still has their own copy, and they use it from time to time. They also used it in their 2013 Harlem Shake video, when that was a trend. I can probably put some photos up there from Spirit's channel. So yeah, you know, this mask, they don't sell it, obviously, and Don Post is unfortunately out of business for over 10 years now, unfortunately, but you know, they still, I guess Spirit still has their own copy, and they still use it from time to time. If they still have it, I think 2019 was the last time that they use it. But as far as I know, they had one, and they used it for their videos, and they probably still do, I'm assuming. But yeah, I think that's it that I have to say. I know I talked a lot about this mask, but this mask has a lot of history, and it's a very special item, so I decided to review it. First review that I said I know of on YouTube, or even video of this thing, really. So yeah, I felt like this thing should have a proper video. It's just too much of a special item. So yeah, I think that's really all I say. Why don't I just put up some close-ups so you can really see this thing up close. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.